welcome back. This is Heidi's Homemade, and this is episode number 60 of Flosstube Extra. So, you may have already seen my episode 59 that I just released. And if you did, you know that I kind of hinted that I had some future plans. And so, future plans. Some of you, if you know me, welcome back. If you have subscribed, thank you for subscribing. If you have not subscribed, why not? If you would, just hit that subscribe button and the like button too as well. So, if you know me, you know that I like to use my Tiny Decisions wheels. I use them for a lot of different things. For stitching, I use them when I'm doing Mania or when I'm doing like 12 by 12 to take some of the decision-making process out of making decisions. So I do make a ton of decisions on a daily. So when it comes to what I'm going to stitch on, I don't like making decisions because then I just like, it can get a little overwhelming. Some of you might know what I mean. So anyway, I have currently 3 different wheels for my cross stitching, and I talk with my hands, and so like moving around is like shaking my table because I have one hand on the table and one hand moving, and it's like shaking the table. So I need to stop doing that. Anyway, I have 3 different wheels set up for cross stitch, and let's see if I can so I have New Start pre-kitted, which I'm getting ready to show you, Wet Whip, so that's all of my current whips, which there are 49, so all of my current whips, and obviously once I start something it'll go into the Wet Whip. And then what to work on. So essentially what I would do is I would pull up my wheel for what to work on first. And on this wheel, there are about 20 work on whips. And then there are start new something. And then there are work on some old kits that I dug up, like dimensions kits and stuff that I had started but never finished, that I like dug out of stuff that I had picked up from my mom's a couple years ago. So I have those on there. And then I have like FFO something. Start a new kit. I do have a couple kits, like dimensions type kits, Janlin type kits, that kind of stuff that I have that I could start. I have make floss drops because I'm always using floss drops. So yeah, I have all that kind of stuff on this wheel. So essentially, if I'm doing this the way that I plan to do it, and this is slightly different than what I've done in the past. In the past, I would just have all of this all on one wheel with all of my whips, all of the start something, blah, 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 blah. But I decided to separate it. Because I decided to do it. I think because I really enjoy starting new things, and there was only like one opportunity on my previous wheel to do that. So I wanted to have a bunch of stuff kitted up and ready to go so that when it did say to start something new, I wouldn't have to be like, oh, what am I going to start? I have a whole bin, and hang on, I have a bin. I have a bin of kitted up projects that I already know I like, that I want to stitch at some point. So I went through, and it took me like a whole day altogether, because I started it at like 5 o'clock at night, and then I finished it like the next day. But I kitted up, I think there's 27 separate project bags in there. One of them has a bunch of the Shannon Christine freebies in it, so there's probably, and I only set it up with the Halloween stuff right now, so there's probably about 10 different patterns in that one, so probably 35 patterns total that are already kitted up and ready to go. I just have to grab it and go. So what I did is I created my wheel for what to work on, and then I created my wheel of what I just kitted up. And for the Shannon Christine one, I just put Shannon Christine. And then when I pull the bag out, I can choose at that point which one I want to work on, because all the flosses are kitted up. I just have to pick which fabric, because I put a bunch of like little snippets of fabric of, like, you know, scrappy type fabric, because they're all little patterns, right? They're like 30 by 30 or like 50 by 50 at the biggest, I think. So there's those, and there's 27 things on this wheel. And if I decide I want to kit up more things, I can just add it to the wheel. Or as I start like getting to the point where the stuff is falling off the wheel, then I can go back and kit up some more stuff. But I mean, obviously I will be stitching on a bunch of stuff. And then I have my current 49 active whips that when this wheel, what to work on, says work on a whip, then I can go, okay, which whip am I going to work on? And I can spin my whip wheel, and it will tell me which one to work on. And it just picked a round bees, which is a JBW design. So I can either reset the wheel every single time, or I can spin again and it will black out that one. You can see it black down there. And so then that's night signs. And usually before I set up the 3 different wheels, I would allow myself 3 spins. And that one is Lovable Petites. So in the 3 spins, I would have to pick something out of those 3 spins. Because sometimes it's like, I don't really feel like working on night signs, or I don't really feel like working on around bees. So I would give myself 3 spins, and one of those spins I would have to do. Out of those 3 spins, I would have to pick one of those 3. That way I wasn't just continuously spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning or whatever. But I think now I might give myself the rule of I have to do whatever it tells me I have to do. I don't know. I don't know if I want to get that picky about it. This one I will probably not clear out until I've hit everything. There are 34 options. Ooh, I don't know if you can see that. There are 34 options on the what to work on, and 20 of those are work on a whip. And then there are 49 options in the whip category, and there are 27 options in the new start pre-kitted up items. So you may be asking, what is this video going to be? Well, this video is going to be showing you my pre-kitted stuff. So 27 things, it's kind of like a kit parade, I guess. So first off, This one I wanted to start for Mania, but I did not have the floss or the fabric. The fabric that I had decided to use was too small, so I went with this one. I'm thinking, so this one's going to be just big enough. And if I happen to come across something before this one pops up, I might switch out the fabric. So the fabric and the pattern, I guess that would help too. The pattern that I'm talking about is the Blue Flower Huckleberry Farm. I had actually ordered fabric from my Vintage Needle Arts to do this on. It was like a pretty lavender-y kind of color. However, that box never actually made it to me. I'm pretty sure that they put it in the wrong mailbox when it got delivered. And someone else in my apartment complex got some fabric. Usually, if that happens, they take it to like the office, and the office like emails or calls and says, "Hey, I have a package for you." But that was May, and I have not heard anything from it. And because it was delivered, there's nothing that they can really do about it. So yeah, I have yet to reorder that stuff. And some of it was like shortcuts, so I couldn't really replace it anyway. But that's okay. These are all of the flosses. There's a combination of Weeks Dye Works, Classic Colorworks, there is a Gentle Arts in there, and a handful of DMCs. So it's a combination of a bunch of different types of flosses, but they're all very pretty. And the fabric that I chose to do it on is an 18 count pixie dust is what it's called. So there's like some pinks and some blues, purpley kind of shade. It's hard to tell. It's showing up white. I don't know if I take it out of its thing, if it would be easier to see. From the back, you can see it a little bit better. So, I don't know how easy that is to see. But I thought that the combination of the pinks is a very pastel-y, pink, purpley, blue kind of colors. And I thought that combination would be really pretty for the background for that one. Kind of similar to the purpley color that they did it on, but a little bit more pink, I guess. But like I said, it is just big enough. And that's like leaving, so on the one side I have like 3 inches of wiggle room. But then the other, I only have like an inch border, which is plenty for me. I would be able to frame it myself with that kind of a border, which is all I worry about, because a lot of times if I am able to, I will just frame it myself. It would just be a matter of getting the right size frame for it. Which that one probably would have to be special ordered, I think. But then I can do the rest myself. Okay, moving on. This one I have had in the want to kit up for a while. This is the Out There Ornament Set by Heartstring Samplery. And I have the called for linen that I was gifted from one of my stitchy friends, because she ordered the linen thinking that she would be able to do it. But then when she got it and started looking at it, she's like, I don't think I can stitch on this. So she gave it to me. So I have the called for linen, and I forget, it probably says on the pattern. Midnight Ride by Extrude Design, and it's a 36 count. Because I'm assuming it's 36 count because she got just the called for, and so yeah, I am super excited about that. I am missing a couple colors, but I have most of them, so I would be able to go ahead and get a good start on them. And I had all of the Etoile, so I was very excited about that. There's 5 different Etoile colors in it, and yeah, I am missing a couple, one each of the weeks and one of the classic color works. So I'm missing a couple colors, but like I said, I have plenty to get started on it. So if I do pull that one, I have enough of the colors to get started on one of the ornaments. So super excited about that whenever that one comes up. There's that. Next up, and these are in a combination of my bags and some like of the Amazon zipper bags. So next up is one that I picked up from Keepsakes when I was at StitchCon. So this one is Peppermint and Pine, and this one actually came with a Keepsakes conversion, but I decided to go with the original called for colors on this one. And I think, yeah, this one I'm missing 2 colors as well, but I have enough of the other ones to get it started, so I'm fine with that. And I'm going to be doing that. I have not cut the fabric yet. I will do that when it gets called, or if I need any of this fabric for something else. So I'm going to be doing that on 20 count raw. And yes, I have a whole yard of it because I love raw. I like using it for Christmas ornaments because the white actually shows up on it. So I'm excited to get those started. I really love the birds. If you know me, you know that I have an affinity for different birds. So there's that. And then next up is one of the Primrose Cottage freebie designs. This is the Hello Autumn. This one I believe is the one that's out right now. I think so. Yeah. I pulled all the called for colors in the DMC, and I'm going to be doing it on a this would have originally been 14 count, but it's more like a 16 count at this point. It's not showing very well in the camera because the camera washes it out. This is a me-dyed fabric. There we go. It's showing a little green, but it's more yellow than green. And I thought that it was a nice backdrop for a fall piece. And I'm using the called for colors. And it's a small piece, so I didn't put a whole lot on there. But there we go. So there's those. And of course, those are all DMC, so I had all of those because I have a master set of DMC. Times like 3. So I do still have to get colors as I kit things up. So since I'm talking about random stuff in this video, let me talk about how I kit stuff up. So, as you can see, I like to use floss straps. I make these floss straps with my Cricut machine. They are heavy cardstock, and I make hundreds of them at a time. As I start to get down to my last, 50, I make more, and then I make several hundred more, and so on. When I kit them up, I have a bunch of these with the numbers on them, separated into their number categories. So like all of the 3/8, all of the, whatever, on rings. And first I go to those and pull from those, from ones I've dekitted from the ones I've finished, right? And if I need to refill them, then I'll refill them. But I start out with 3 strands of like a yard, like 36 inches approximately of floss. And most projects, I never need more than that. Sometimes I don't use anywhere near that much. So I put 3 strands on the floss drops, and I kit up my projects. So I start with going to my leftover floss drops. Then I have a bunch of floss that is bobbinated, that are extra bobbinated floss. And I'm trying to work my way through those so I don't have so many that are on bobbins. And then if I don't have the color in that, then I go to my master set, which is bobbinated. And if you're wondering, it takes 6 of the clear like floss boxes to set up all of the DMC colors. The only colors I do not have for the DMC standard colors are the variegated ones in the 4000s, I think they are. Basically because I can't find those at my local shops, at my local, when Joann's was around. Hobby Lobby and Michael's don't typically carry those high 4000s. And when they do, it's almost like it's a special order, and they only get like a few in. I don't know. But I do have all of the early variegated colors. So all of the ones that start in like, I think they start at like 50 or something like that, and go to like 115. So they it cuts into the new colors, the 1 through 35 of the new colors, and then it goes in like around 50 it starts, and it goes like 115, and then your regular colors start at 150, I think, and then go into the 38s. So yeah, anyway, but yeah, so if I have to pull it off of my master set, I still do the same thing. I pull 3 strands of like 36 inches, put it on my floss drop. As I start to get low on those, if I don't have a full skein, because a lot of the colors I have full skeins of still, that I just pull from that, restock, and move on. Otherwise, I add it to my list of DMC colors I need to pick up next time I'm at a shop that has DMC, and I just replenish. And when I replenish, I always buy 2, because I don't want to have to buy them all the time. And I tend to kit things up a lot. Anyway, so next up, and I know in my last video I talked about joining Patreons. I joined several Patreons over the last couple months, and so I joined Stitch Crypt, Bad Stitch, Hello by Liz Mathews, Tiny Modernist, Stitch Sprout, and the Witchy Stitcher. There might be another one. I'm not sure. Mama Witch Stitches, or Mama Witch X Stitch, or whatever she is. I've heard it a couple different ways. I think that's all of them. So, I got Graveyard Wander. And, unfortunately, I joined after this one. I was really trying to get this one, and it went into the vault right before I joined, so, But then she released it, so I still got it. Super excited. I really, really liked this one as soon as I saw it, and I just was not in a place where I could financially join the Patreon at that particular moment. But I have it, and I'm going to start it whenever it gets called. So, that one I'm going to put on a me-dyed fabric. This is about a 20 count at this point. And I think the way I'm going to do it is this way. I think it's going to look really cool because it's going to look like they're walking through Twilight. In the camera, it shows brown in some of it. Like in this area, it's not brown. It's actually a purple color. I don't know why in the camera it always distorts it, but it's a little bit lighter than what you see in the camera, and it's more of a purpley color. It's like a pinkish undertone. So it really makes it kind of look like it's like that Twilight kind of time of day. I'm super excited. It's going to look really awesome. The colors I have on my StitchCon board because it happened to have the exact amount of spaces. So these are all the colors, and all of them are going to pop just fine on this fabric, and I'm super excited whenever that one gets called. This is one that I will have to be slightly careful to make sure that I start it right in the center, because I do only have like an inch on each side. But that's perfectly fine for me. Like I said, if I frame it myself, no worries. If I make it into something else, no worries. So, yeah. I am super excited about getting that one started when that one gets pulled. So, and if you wonder, I always roll up my fabric because it decreases the more permanent creases in fabric when it's stored like that. If you fold it, it's more likely to get like those permanent creases. Yes, they will get kind of squished a little bit, but I have found that when they are like rolled creases, they iron out a little bit better than if you just like fold it up and let it sit like that. I don't know. It might be just a me thing. But anyway, this one, and I actually have two of these bags because I made them, and I sold two of them on my Etsy shop, and this one just never sold, so I decided just to keep it. So when I was at StitchCon, I saw this one, Salem Stitchers, stitched up, fell in love with it, had to get it. So I went on a search to find it. So there's Salem Sisters 2, and then there's a Salem Sisters 3 that I'm going to have to get to. This one takes 3 colors, this one takes 4 colors. And they are some of the same colors. So I am going to be doing them. I have 2 pieces. I don't think I'm even going to need both of them. I think I'm actually going to be able to get both of them on one piece. But I have 40 count dark cobblestone that I'm going to be using for both of them so that they match. So I'm super excited about that. That is Plum Street Samplers, Salem Sisters, and Salem Sisters 2. And this one says The first one says, "Sisters of mine, we've done no crime, yet here we go to but yet here we go to hanging. These foul townfolk, they thought us cursed, and now we're up here swinging. And then the second one says 1692. It says, "Sisters of mine, yon rope shall they twine round our necks till be gnarled and a squeezin'. Yet we have no fear, for our justice draws near. Where they're going, it won't be a freezin'." I like it. So anyway, I'm not sure which one I'll start first. I just put Salem Sisters in my wheel, so when I get there, I think I am missing one color. Yeah, Wisconsin Woods. Oh yeah, so yeah, and these are from 2006 and 2008. So it was still the Crescent colors at that point. It hadn't been converted over to the Classic Colorworks. But I had 3 of the 5 colors that are called for. So that should be enough of those to get those started if it happens to get pulled before I get a chance to get those other 2 colors. So there is those. And a moppy bag. All right, next up. And I'm super excited about this one too. I'm excited about all of them. Who am I kidding? That is why I kit them up, right? All right, so I finished Cozy Nest. So Crafter Owl is next. I also have the Bookish Badger, I think is what he's called. I'm not sure. He's Badger and he's reading. But he's in like the living room scene as well. So Crafter Owl will be a complement to the Cozy Nest. And since it's going to be a complement to that, I decided to do a similar color for the background. So Cozy Nest I did on 30 count Crisp October from Primitive Hair. I really can't afford to order more fabric, so I found this piece in my Me Dyed stash. This was a 14 count, so it's probably closer to a 16 count at this point. But I really like the color of this one. I think it complements the other one very, very well. And then all of the DMCs that I pulled are going to pop off of this color really well. Those reds of the chair are going to be really, really pretty on here. So that will be Crafter Owl, whenever that gets called. But yeah, like I said, I'm excited about all of them. I don't think there's any that I'm like, because what would be the point of kitting it up and spending the time doing all that if it's not something that like I really like the pattern for. So there's that one. And next, this one is Lindy Stitches. This one I picked up at last year's Jingle Ball. And this is Dust of Snow. Oops. And it says, "The way a crow shook down on me, the dust of snow from a hemlock tree, has given my hair a change of mood. Oh, has given my heart a chance of mood, a change. Oh my gosh, I cannot talk today. Has given my heart a change of mood and saved some parts of a day I rued, which is part of Robert Frost poem called A Dust of Snow. So all the funky colors. I picked this blue, which has a little bit of a purpley pinky undertone to it. I thought that it kind of resembled a winter sky. It's coming across super dark on screen. It is not that dark. It is bright, but it's not as dark as that shows. I'm not sure. And it's kind of like that, like up here. So it's not quite as dark as what it shows. I won't need this whole big thing. So it will get cut off, like lengthwise anyway. I think widthwise it's about right. But that is all DMC as well. So that is all pulled and ready to go. So whenever it gets called, that one is ready to go as well. And there we go. And next up, so I have several books of patterns, right? So like the Witchy Stitcher just put out a book. Actually, that's what I have here. I have like the creepy cross stitch, and then the sister one to that. So I decided to go ahead and kit up some stuff from books. That way, as I finish it, I can kit up another thing. So I am going to be doing from the Witchy Stitcher. Let me make sure there's nothing here. Okay. I'm like, let me make sure there's no pattern on this page. So I kit up Dracula's Castle. So it's like a bunch of different reds on black fabric. So that is the one that I'm intending to do. I have it kit up and ready to go. I have a big piece of 14 count black, just regular Charles Craft 14 count. I don't usually do 14 count. Usually I tend to lean more towards the 18 or 20 counts. But I figured because it's black that doing it on the 14 counts, and I had the 14 counts, so might as well use what I had in my stash. I have all the colors, fuzzy. I have all the colors ready to go, and I know I'm gonna need more. I think the only one, I have obviously a full skein of black, and then I have a full skein of 814, and that might be a full skein of 817 as well. But yeah, so I will probably need more of each one of those colors because I am doing 14 counts. It's gonna eat up the floss like crazy. So let's go this way so the zipper can close. So the only thing about having a big project like this is that the fabric doesn't fit. Okay, next up. Okay, so this is all of the Shannon Christine ones, which I will not show you because you can see the stuff. I will show you, or you can see the pattern, I should say. These are all of the Halloween pattern called for colors in the DMC. And all of my little pieces of fabric. So whenever I pull something out, then I can decide what color I want to put it on, what count I want to put it on, because it ranges from 14 counts all the way up to this one, which I still am not really sure what count that is and what kind of fabric it is. It's either a 22 Herringer, or it could be an even weave. I'm not really sure. I stitched one last night on this type of fabric, and it is so tiny that I probably could have done it over 2, and it would have been like the normal size. So I'm thinking that it might be, it could be an even weave. It could be like a 36 count even weave, maybe. I don't know. Or 32 count even weave. I'm not really sure. But I have a bunch of her freebie Halloween and fall patterns. There's, I don't know, like 10 of them in here. And I did one last night, so I've done like 1 out of 10. And that's just because if I'm going to spend so much time kitting stuff up, I'm going to reward myself by starting something. And in this case, I started it and finished it in the same night. So there's that. Moving on, I have the Artsy Housewife, Byron Blackwood, Byron Blackwood, Blackbird. Wow. Words today are difficult. I have been wanting to stitch this one forever. I got this pattern in a big lot off of eBay, and I basically got the whole lot because I wanted this one. So if I'm going to kit something up, I'm going to kit something that I've been waiting on. So I'm using a me-dyed fabric. It is actually showing up fairly well there. It is a gray with a little bit of like a sagey undertone. And I have all of the called for DMCs, and I switched out the black for Gentle Arts Onyx for Mr. Byron. And everything else is the called for colors, which are all going to look fabulous on that gray. So whenever that one gets picked, I will be more than happy to start working on him. Okay. Next one up is Nath Nolu. This is one of her newer ones. This is Plant Witch. This one came out a few weeks ago, I think. Not long. So this is the pattern. Super cute. I decided to do her on orange. So this one, again, is a me-dyed fabric. This was a 14, so it's probably closer to a 16 at this point. But I thought this gorgeous orangey color would look really cool with that. I think the purples are going to really pop on this guy. And I think I can do it like a section like this. Like, she's not that big. So I should have plenty of this left over after I stitch her. And I have all of the called for colors pulled. I think even the oranges are going to be just fine. Like, nothing is going to blend that well with the fabric. And the stuff that is similar or close to what is on the orange fabric is surrounded by other colors, so I don't think it's going to cause any problem at all. And I mean, the orange is going to pop off of that. Those purples on that orange, oh, it's going to look so awesome. So excited about that. Okay. So there's that one. She has really started to become one of my favorite designers as well. I've done several of her patterns and have several in the works. Okay, that's that. Next up. This one's going to be a long video too, I'm sorry. Next up is Witch Hazel from La D. Picked this one up at Keepsakes. This one I'm going to do on a very small, it's going to be small. It's 46 count earth. And I'm not sure what FDAW. I think that's what it says. FDAW. I'm not sure what that stands for. But I've used a couple pieces off of this already. And it's not bad to stitch on at all. Honestly, 46 is not that much harder to stitch on than 40. It's just tiny. So I'm going to do Witch Hazel on this really cool looking earth. And all of the called for colors. There is a metallic. I do have a few metallics. So I will probably just pick one that I already have when I get to that point. But all of the called for DMC. So there's that. Next up. Okay, so this is an Artsy Housewife. And this one is from her Patreon. This one I think was last month. I think it was September. This is Warm Your Cockles. It's a coffee cup with some thistle flowers. And I decided to make it funky. And this, like, on screen it's not reading quite right. It's more of a teal color. But it's got that rustic kind of look through it. And I have all of the called for funky colors. That's one of the things I actually really like about Artsy Housewife is that she uses some very interesting color combinations. And I really like the funkiness of it. But they're going to really look neat on this teal colored rustico that it was like an oatmeal color, and then I dyed it, so now it's a teal color. I think it's going to look really interesting and fun on that. And I mean, it's not a huge piece, so it shouldn't take long to stitch whenever I do get that one pulled and started. You wouldn't think so, because the packet of pages is huge. Okay. All right, some more fun colors. Okay, next one is Fine Frog. This is one of the other Patreons that I joined. This one is a Patreon chart. This is Good Luck Charms. And the colors are fun. And it says on sale, $13, guaranteed curse-free for 24 hours. That kind of rhymes. And it's got like your rabbit foots. Yeah, it's really cute. And the colors are fabulous. So, I put it on this guy. You can see all those colors. That it looks awesome. And this is Amy dyed fabric. Very close to the color that the sample was stitched on. So that's why I picked it, because it was very similar to the one that the so yeah. It's not very big. This is I think this was probably a 16 count, so it's probably 18 counts at this point. It's only going to be like 5 by 6 or something like that. So it's not very big. But super excited about that. These colors are just magical. I'm just saying. I'm a fan. I'll roll him back up. Yeah, I think, yeah, this is somewhere between a 16 and 18 counts. And it says 16 count is 5.6 by 7.4. So, yeah, easily fit on there. Okay. Next is a never-ending bin. Move that a little closer. Okay, next one. This one I also picked up at Keepsakes. This is Blackbirds by All Through the Night. Folk art designs with a bit of whimsy. It's called Blackbirds, and it says, I value my garden more for being full of blackbirds than cherries. And I saw it hanging on the wall, and I was like, where's that pattern? I want it. So, Blackbirds. And because it talks about cherries, I picked this fabric. And it will not need this whole big piece, so I'll have to decide where and how. So I think it's going to be able to do like this. So I might do it like that so that it has more red in it. More of that cherry color. And I'm using Caviar from Forbidden Fiber Co. for that. And this is a 14 leaning towards 16 count. So I'm hoping that I will be able to get the whole thing out of this. I might have to order some more because it is my only one of Caviar. And that, or maybe I'll mix in a little bit of Raven and just kind of go back and forth. I'm not really sure. I haven't looked at the pattern yet to see if it tells me how many skeins of floss it recommends. I'm not sure. I have not looked yet. I just know that it's one color, and that is an interesting black. It has a little bit of a green undertone, which I thought would look kind of cool on the cherry colored fabric. All right, another book. So this one is Pigeon Coop Designs, Cross Stitch in the Forest. And the one that I'm going to be doing out of this first, I have not done any yet. I was trying to wait till I got done with the other ones I have purchased from him from his actual website and just downloaded them. The one that I'm going to be doing is this one, Aurora. And it's a bunch of different purples. And is there black? No, there's no black. It's just all purples. And a little bit of white. So that's the one that I'm going to start with. And I already have it kitted up, obviously. I have all of I had extras of these purples, so I just left them right on their bobbins and threw the bobbin right on my ring. And then there's 819, which is a pinky color. So there's those. And the fabric that I'm using, I don't know if this is going to show, is a me-dyed. It's like black with purple. And this is was originally an 18 count, so it's close to a 20. And I think it's going to look really cool. I think the subtle because it obviously the modeling comes across way more on the screen than it does to like the naked eye. So I think the subtle changes from the black to the purple are going to look really cool with that Aurora Borealis in the pattern. I'm just hoping that the purples, that dark purple especially, will not get washed out in that. I don't think it will. I think it's bright enough that it's going to show. I tested it and I think it's fine, but I won't really know until I start stitching on it. I might have to adjust a little bit, depending. But in theory, once I finish that, then I would just kit up something else from that book. And then this one is the last book that I have, and this is Mythical Cross Stitch. And the pattern that I'm going to do out of this one is, there it is Hemlock, this pattern. And it says, Hemlock is white with petals so slight, like snow on a hot summer day. One taste, one bite, one nibble, good night. Be clever and do stay away. So that one is what I'm going to be doing out of this book. And the fabric that I chose to do it on is this one, because how fun is that? Again, this is one of my me-dyed fabrics. You can tell because I tied them with yarn. Because I have like a whole bag of fabrics that are just rolled up after I press them out. So, how cool is that? And that's going to look really awesome with that Hemlock pattern on it. Super excited. I don't know which way I'm going to do it yet. I might, whichever direction I decide to put the fabric. Once I measure out exactly how much space I need. It's plenty big enough for any direction I want to go with it. And the colors, I did change one color. I did change the green. The green was going to blend a little bit too well into the fabric, so I just changed it to a slightly darker green so that it will stand out on that fabric. Everything else looked like it was going to be fine, so I didn't change anything else out. So I just, instead of 937, I used 895. My little note to myself. And this little floss strap thingy, I got from someone who was handing them out at StitchCon. I'm not really sure who it was, sorry. But it had 5 spots and it has 5 colors, so I decided to use it for that. And it's just in order of colors, so I won't have to worry about which one is what. Okay, moving on. The next one are 2, so that's, yeah, whichever one happens to get pulled. So, first one is going to be French Country Owl. I picked this up at Keepsakes along with the next pattern I'm going to show you because it's a French country and I collect them. So I'm going to be doing the French Country Owl on this green colored fabric. It's plenty wide enough. I will have to be careful to make sure I have it centered. It's plenty long enough, that's not a problem. Wide enough, I just have to make sure I have it centered and I should be good to go. Especially since those are probably going to end up as pillows, so I don't need a ton of space on the outside. And then these are the colors that I chose to do the owl. So I have orange, a dark green, and a brown. The orange is Clockwork from Weeks Dye Works. Then the next one, which is going to be a little bit funkier, is French Country Lark, which I hadn't seen before, so I picked that one up when I was there at Keepsakes. And I'm going to be doing that on this kind of a raspberry color. It's showing up a little more red. It's definitely more pink than red. So that one with this really pretty teal, and that's not showing very well either. It's called Quarantine from Forbidden Fiber Co. But those two on those kind of scrappy kind of pieces of fabric, which I like having the ability to use those on stuff like that. All right, next one is a Liz Mathews Patreon pattern, and it is last month's. This is Passing Through. Super cute with the ghosties. It's Hello by Liz Mathews. And another one of my fabrics. Again, I thought that kind of the dark foresty color would look really cool with that. It's deceptively big on this, but it's not. It's small. It's a small pattern. It's like 5 by 5. And all of the colors are going to look just fine. Even that darker green, you can still see it on there. And even if it does ghost a little bit, it's like lined with the lighter green, so it's gonna show just fine. But I think it's really gonna look cool with the oranges on this really pretty foresty color. So, let me pause for a sec. Okay, sorry about that. Siri started growling because there was people outside. I'm down to my last 5 projects though, so we should be able to get these done fairly quickly. We'll see. All right, so one of the Stitch Crypt patterns that I picked up while I was at StitchCon is she had display up in the annex is Mushroom Witch. And this one I decided to do on it's like sliding. Okay. I decided to do on a fabric that I picked up at StitchCon at the Annex. And this is from Dames of the Needle from the Cauldron. And this is Boxing Day. It's a 13 by 15 and a half. It's a 32 count. And it's, oh, there you go. It's a really pretty dark green. And actually having it really close, that is pretty much the color. It might look a little gray, but it is definitely green in person. Hence Boxing Day, right? All of the called for, there's 29 colors. All of the called for DMC is going to look really good on that. Even the greens are going to pop because it's such a dark green that all the other greens are lighter than that. So it's going to look really pretty on there, I think. So excited to get started on that. Plus, most of the greens that are in it are surrounded by other colors, so I don't think there's going to be a problem with it blending too much into the background. So there's that one. That was a lot of colors. And it's charted in Cosmo, so I can only imagine what it would have cost if I had ordered all those Cosmos. Okay, anyway. Next up is Bad Stitch. This is one of the ones I have a Patreon subscription, and this is a Patreon pattern. This is Steller's J. And hang on. Okay, so Steller's J is the pattern. This is a Patreon pattern. It's still currently available in her Patreon. I think it's available for a little bit longer before it'll go away. So I really liked the color of the fabric that she used. So I went into my stash of me-dyed fabrics and I found one as close to it as I could, which is this one. And obviously it's more this end, I think. Well, on here, so yeah, like, I don't know, whatever. But this is the fabric that I chose. And so many colors, so many colors. All those bright blues are gonna pop right off of that. I'm so excited about it. So yeah. It shows brown, but it's more of a pinky color to the fabric. So all that looks kind of brownish, it's more of like a pinky color. And the color itself is a little bit lighter than what it's reading on the screen. So there's that one. And then just a couple more. There's like 4 more, I think. Yeah, 4 more. Okay. This one was a little pattern and flosses that I got from StitchCon from one of my table mates. It is the, let me make sure I'm telling you it's the right pattern. I can't show you the pattern because there's no picture, but the pattern is a Helen D pattern. It's called Picnics and Parades. And so I have this 14 count kind of gray, kind of platinum-y kind of color that I dyed. It is a scrap piece of fabric that's I dyed. Plenty wide enough because it's just one of those ones with the words and like a little thing on it. And she gave us 3 of the 4 colors. So I didn't realize that there was only 3. There's one more color, but I think she says that she uses an etoile or a metallic or something. So these are the 3 colors that she gave us with the pattern and a little hoop to go with it in the little burlap bag. So I grabbed a piece of fabric. I will have to take a look at that when I go to stitch it. Oh, that's gonna look really cool on it. Okay. And see what that other, because there's like 4 colors. So see what that other one is. I think it's a metallic or an etoile or something like that, which is fine. I have a bunch of etoile and I have a few metallics, so I'll just figure it out when I get to it. That's in that little bag. It's the one that it came in, so I just left it in there. Next up is, and this one I just threw into a project bag. This one is a buttons and beads. This is Enchanted Pumpkin I picked up at Keepsakes. And of course it is a Mill Hill kit, so it has all the beads and floss and everything to start it. And it is a perforated paper. I am slightly curious as to how much of it is stitched and how much of it is just the orange background, because I'm not really sure. I haven't opened it yet to see. The whole thing looks like it's orange, so I'm not really sure if, I don't know. I'm slightly confused by the look of the finished piece. But it's really pretty and I like it, and it's in my Raven bag. So when I get a chance, or when it gets pulled, I will work on that one. Next up is a kit that one of my table mates gave me that they got from something. This is My Nice List from Little Stitch Girl. And it's the full kit. I think all I need to do is like put a needle with it and scissors. It's fully kitted. It's got I don't know, it looks like 28 count. It's a gray linen. I'm not really sure what the linen is. but it's a gray colored linen. But it's fully kitted, ready to go. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna throw that into a project bag, and we're gonna do that at one of these points. It says, "You're always on my nice list." It's got Santa kissing Mrs. Santa. Okay. And one more. This is the last one. And this one is just a little guy. I found this at a teacher store. It is the Mill Hill Holiday Boot Ornament. It's from 2017. And so yeah, it's the full kit. It's got everything. It's got the beads and the extra little stuff and everything. So it is ready to go. Like I said, I think I just need to add a needle. It has a magnet. Is that what that is? A magnet? Oh no, there's needles in there. Okay, cool. But yeah, it looks like there's a magnet in there, so you can make it into a magnet. Yeah, it's magnet included. Yeah. But yeah, I picked that up at like a teacher store for $1. So I'm like, you know what? It's all there. I might as well start it. So there it is. So that are all of my pre-kitted projects. So that way when my Tiny Decisions wheel pulls up, start something new, I can spin my other Tiny Decision wheel and start one of those projects. So yeah, I think that's about it. If you have questions about any of my processes of how I figure things out, how I kit things up, how I source things, whatever, feel free to leave me a comment below and I will get back to you. Or feel free to message me on any of my connections I have in the description box below. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching and have a great day. I'll see you next time.